Hi, I'm Kevin Goodnow. I'm the lead lobbyist for the Minnesota Home Care Association, and I just wanted to give you an update about where we're at in the 2018 Minnesota legislative session. The legislative session is going to adjourn on May 21st, so we're only a few days away from that. A lot of things are all in conference committee being decided at the last minute. There's going to be a lot of negotiations that take place between now and that end of session on May 21st. So just to talk through the priorities for the Home Care Association, number one, we have a bill that we've been working on with regard to licensure reform with the Department of Health with regard to the home care licensure. It's basically looking at outdated and ambiguous language in our licensure statute and making modifications to that. That language is in the House Omnibus Supplemental Bill. It's part of the ongoing discussions between the House and the Senate and the Governor as we lead into the end of session. So that language is still alive. We're still waiting for some final agreement in conference committee on that. A second issue is notification to home care agencies when a registered sex offender or sexual predator is going to be receiving services from that home care agency. Under current law, in circumstances where an individual is going into a nursing home or assisted living facility, those facilities need to be notified that that person's a registered sex offender. We would apply that same standard now when people receive home care services as well. That language is also in that omnibus bill in the House, so that's part of the last minute discussions that will be taking place towards the end of the legislative session. A third issue that we're working on and have been working on is the electronic visit verification. That's an issue that is trying to come in compliance with the federal mandate. Just to be clear, the Home Care Association would rather not do anything related to this, but since we have a federal mandate that if we don't comply with it, we could see a reduction in our rates. And if we don't comply in the correct way, we could have some large provider costs associated with it. So we're working with the Department of Human Services and others to move forward with an EVV mandate and program that will minimize the impact on both the providers and the clients we serve. The proposal that we've been working on is both included in the House and the Senate bill, in the supplemental budget bill as well. Again, that is something that's being negotiated towards the final end of session here. So that bill is alive in both bodies. Another issue that we're working on and been following very closely for the Home Care Association is the whole issue of elder abuse. That is something that we've been working on with other interested parties and stakeholders. That has some really disparate positions from different people and different parties out there. From a home care perspective is we want to make sure that people and the people we serve are protected. And we have no tolerance for elder abuse at all in the system. But we also want to make sure that the positions that are taken and the restrictions and the regulations that are put into place meaningfully address the concerns and meaningfully protect our elders that are being served. And so we're looking for that fine balance and we've been working with various stakeholders in identifying that. There are separate independent bills that are still alive and potentially moving. And there's also language in the House version of the supplemental budget bill related to elder abuse. So how that is going to be taken care of in the end is still yet to remain to be seen, but it is still a lot of work to be done on that. We also have an issue that we're following for a number of our members is last year there was some changes in how incontinence care products were purchased by the state. There's a version of that is repealing that change that is still alive and part of those final discussions as well. Another issue that some people have been worrying about is the Medicaid work requirements. That is something that got a lot of publicity early on, and we've seen it both at the national level and at the state level. There's an independent bill that has been moving forward. This is not included in any of the supplemental bills. This language has not passed either the House or the Senate, but it's still possible that it could pass one or both bodies before the end of session. It's very controversial, and it could take a lot of time on the House and Senate floor for that to take place. So those are the highlights of the bills that we're working on. At this point, there are other things that we're looking at as well, and if you have questions about anything else that comes up, feel free to reach out to the Home Care Association. But with that, that's our update as we go into the final days of the legislative session. Thank you.